Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we proudly present our spectacular show of podcast magic and imagination full of Disney wonder, news, and pop culture. It's the Main Street Electrical Podcast with Jenn Dave and David Dollar.
Well, hey, Jen.
Well, hey, Dave.
It's the Main Street Electrical Podcast. Episode number 144. That's Jenn Novotny, and I'm David Dollar, of course, owner. She's the owner of the Pawn Star Travel and Concierge, and I'm just the little guy who works for her and the rest of the team. And we're here podcasting, bringing you magic and light to your inbox with a lot to talk about tonight. And next week, too. We're going to carry over to next week with some of the stuff. But
this is
but Jen,
amazing.
Yeah, this is like part one, sort of. Yeah. Part two will be next week, kind of the spiritual sequel to this podcast episode. But it can be listened to on its own. You don't have to listen. It's not like a Marvel show where you have to watch the show.
You don't have to know everything.
Nothing like that. So, Jen, how did you Disney this week?
I mean, I don't know that I can still count the trip that we were just on. So
you can actually, because you didn't count it last. Well, did you? I don't remember.
Oh, I don't.
No,
I
because
think
last
I did.
week was Antarctica.
Oh,
that was like January.
That's
recording.
True. But I do have a secondary one, and let me be real, I might just use this one next week too, because I'm loving the sweatshirt. And so I'm wearing my new Main Street Electrical Parade sweatshirt. It's
nice.
I got this in like on Main Street at the, the store that's doing, they opened it on the 50th. So they had like all the like OG merchandise redos.
Right.
And like, so now they're up, they've been walking up and now they're at like 25th. Okay. Like redos. And so this is the Main Street Electrical Parade shirt, which it has on the front, the mushroom and like the butterfly. And on the back, it's got the snail one, that like,
I love it. That is awesome.
Fabulous. So there you go.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, I, of course, Disney, by being at Disney World last week, a lot of experience and a lot of just fun things.
So much fun.
I spent much of my time doing nothing but taking video and pictures and such. I had a great run around World Showcase, not run, but a quick walk around World Showcase where I put my camera into time-lapse mode. And so what took me about 24 minutes to walk through World Showcase, I got a 37-second video out of it, but it looks pretty cool. I will tell you that doing the same thing for the monorail loop for the hotels is a little harder because in one point you have to go from one side of the monorail to the other because everything is on this side, but then all of a sudden it's not on that side. You have to go to this side. And if there's somebody gets sitting in that chair, it's kind of hard to do so. You kind of have to kind of improvise a little bit. And if somebody calls you, your video is broken. Ooh. So whereas I've got one video from EPCOT, one 20-minute walk, which is great. I've got like 4 videos for the monorail loop, which is cool though, because I have a time-lapse video going all the way around the monorail, which is pretty awesome. Cool. So we have a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about transportation, and we both had some transportation woes, and we'll dive into that. We'll dive into the age-old question: how exactly do I get to the airport from my hotel? Or when I get to the airport, how do I get to my hotel? We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But first, let's get to some news. All right, so we're going to bounce around here a little bit. We'll start around the world before we get to the world. We'll talk about Disney Cruise Line. They have a new tier. It's called the Pearl tier.
Yes,
the Pearl tier. You sail 25 times, and you are part of the Pearl. Because before they had what? Silver, gold,
so it was first timers, silver, gold, and platinum.
Okay, so first time is silver, and is that first to like fourth timers? Is there what's the level on, or am I gold because I've been twice, or how does that work?
So basically, after the first time, you are silver status. So yay! All you do is one cruise, you are silver.
Right.
So silver status is 1 completed cruise. You do flip to gold at 5 completed cruises, and then after 5 completed cruises, your next tier is platinum, which is 10 completed cruises. So that was the old levels, and platinum was the highest. So and if you have been on a Disney cruise, or if you're someone like us who just knows a lot about Disney Cruise Line, we've also been on them, but you know that it does matter when you can book things. So it's if you are concierge or platinum, you get the most bennies, then it goes down from there in the tiers. Right.
Well, I guess because now there are 5 ships, and there's a 6th ship coming and a 7th ship coming eventually.
Yes.
They realize there's a lot of people that have 10 or more cruises under their belt
Mm-hmm.
because they're doing it by cruise, not by date. A lot of cruise industry lines and brands will do it by date, like how many days you've been on at sea. Disney's just cruises, like number of cruises.
Just
So,
straight up cruises, right?
so if I have 5 7-day cruises and Jen has 6 3-day cruises, my 35 days, her 18 days, or whatever the math is on that, it's the same thing.
Right.
We'll both be in the same tier. And but you go from 10 cruises to 25. So you have a large gap there now. You got to
There is a large gap.
Do some work there. But of course, it is the Pearl tier at 25. You get all kinds of perks where you get unlimited digital downloads at this point. You get booking your cruise line vacations before anybody else. The Castaway Club Pearl members will open up to be able to open up new cruise lines and itineraries before anybody else does. You also get like special stuff in your stateroom and a complimentary dinner at Palo during a signature dining experience, which was kind of nice there. It's almost worth it
nice.
for just that. That's Disney Cruise Line. Over at Disneyland, I think this is kind of fun. Small World is including a doll with a wheelchair. So now there's a doll somewhere. And I've seen the picture, but I can't really make out exactly where they are. But that doll will be at will have a wheelchair, sitting on a wheelchair.
I love
it. I think it's the most adorable thing ever. I really do. I think it's just really cute. And, there are various topics about, inclusivity and what that might mean. Sometimes it's used negatively, whatever, but I really think this is a representation. And I think that's just, I think it's fantastic.
It's beautiful.
It's really fun.
It's so nice for those kiddos who are in wheelchairs to be able to see themselves represented. And like, what a perfect location to put that to. Like Small World, Disneyland, what I love about Disneyland is that there are so many, like they can change that out really easily. I don't want to say it's easy. I mean, it might be difficult. I don't know, but they have a lot of those other inclusions in there that Walt Disney World doesn't have. And hopefully Disney World will get one in there as well. Maybe it's planned. I don't know. But
it is in Disney World. I just looked. It's
did you?
In the Magic
Kingdom.
Yeah,
good. Yay.
Yeah, it's in the Magic Kingdom. So
Did
it's
it say
really
where?
exciting. It does not say. I was reading the article on Disney Parks blog, and it just says, shows the picture, but I can't make out the costume.
Look.
The picture itself, he's got a flute in his hand. He's in a wheelchair, and it's really cool. I mean, it looks like the kid might be Dutch. Maybe, I don't know. I don't study that hard when I watch Small World.
See, but I do.
You see it? You see the picture?
Well, hang on. Celebrates inclusion. I'm looking. Where is this? Oh, I know exactly where this is. Yes. This is in the first. Yeah, this is in the first room. I want to say it's the first room.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
But be on the lookout for that, folks. I think that's just really exciting. I think it's a really cool thing.
Yay!
So very exciting. Over at Disneyland as well, the Rogers the Musical is coming. It's been alluded to for the Hyperion Theater. Now, Jen and you and I talked about this earlier today, and you were kind of like, what is this? Well, if you watch Hawkeye, which Hawkeye is a phenomenal show, Jen, you would love Hawkeye. You really would. It's my favorite. Well,
I love Hawkeye, so I would love Hawkeye.
So you love the show, and you would love Kate Bishop. You would love Yelena, which is Black Widow's sister. You would love the whole thing. Anyway, so the first episode of Hawkeye, they go to a musical called Rogers the Musical. This is set, of course, in the Marvel world, past the blip. Well, now somebody has put together a musical, and they're singing a song called "I Could Do This All Day," and it's set in New York when the aliens are coming, and there's all the really cheesy characters and the cheesy costumes. It's so fantastic. It's so fantastic. And I'm hoping, if it works correctly, I'm going to try to put that music at the end of the episode so you can hear it, you can watch it, and now the people out there can hear it. Will not be available on the podcast, but on the audio version of the show, you can hear it if it works. So we'll see. Let's look at Disney World now. Of course, there's a couple things that are happening with Disney World that are all coming together all this week. Mandalorian and Grogu are now at Hollywood Studios at Galaxy's Edge.
I just have to make my normal statement.
Why
did we have to name him Grogu? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Disney, I'm sorry. Like, Baby Yoda was a way cuter name. Okay, sorry.
It was cuter, but Grogu's his name. I mean, if you met a kid named Chubby Rain, you wouldn't be like, can I just call you Chad? It's so much cuter than Chubby Rain.
No, but like,
I don't know.
Yeah, no, but I might like disagree. I'm just disagree. Baby Yoda. Okay. So Baby Yoda's in the park. Yay!
Yes, Grogu is in the park with Mandalorian walking around, and Scott Gustin on Twitter, who is a Disney news aficionado, has said that this is not a limited time offering. Like, he will be making appearances.
Oh, good.
Probably for the duration of the show. I think the show will go on another season or two. It just started season 3 with the first episode. I have not watched it, but I will.
Okay.
But
if I can call him Mando, I can call him Baby Yoda.
You can. So what's interesting about this, and I would love to hear feedback from the audience, especially the Star Wars fans. We talked about this some this weekend when I heard this news was coming, but that the timeline for Grogu and Mandalorian, Baby Yoda and Mandalorian, there's an episode in season 2 where Luke shows up. Luke Skywalker shows up, and he is a young Luke. He is a Jedi Master Luke, but he's not the old Luke we see in Last Jedi and the sequel trilogy. He's a younger Luke. So obviously, watching the show, that sets the Mandalorian timeline well before the events of the sequel trilogy. One of the things that I've lamented about Galaxy's Edge is that Disney has put Galaxy's Edge in a first order timeline, which the sequel trilogy, and I personally think they thought that Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker would be a lot more successful, have a lot more cultural impact with those characters. There's only 1-2 characters that really popped, maybe Kylo, Rey, and BB-8. That's about it. Nobody talks about Finn. Nobody talks about some of the other characters that are there, Rose Tico and whatever. And so they haven't.
Rose Tico is a good character.
They've kind of painted themselves into a corner. It's like, what do we do? What can we do with these characters? Well, now they've decided to bring Mando and Grogu out of a different timeline into the Galaxy's Edge forum. So that's interesting to me because I don't know if Disney's like, okay, we're going to make this exception, or we're going to try to appease the audience a little bit and bring back some characters that they know. Because who knows? Maybe this means we'll see Darth Vader. I was
going to say, but people, why would they? People love the original characters. What about Boba Fett? What about
Boba Fett and Mando are in the episodes together in the Book of Boba Fett show and some of the other episodes.
So why not get them into the parks?
We won't see Boba Fett in this, and if we see Boba Fett, Han Solo,
why not
like
see
that, Lando Calrissian, whatever. I don't know that we will see the legacy characters like Leia, Han, and Luke, as I think it would be too hard.
I feel like those are too hard. Those are too iconic, maybe. But
we'll see. I just think it's interesting how they've done this now. So
how about no Jabba the Hutt though? I don't want to see Jabba the Hutt.
I would see Jabba the Hutt. I think that would. I
don't want to see Jabba the
Hutt. For the first time in a long time, Typhoon Lagoon, Blizzard Beach open at the same time. One was under refurb. They kind of go back and forth. Of course, one was open. Both were closed for a long time for COVID.
Of course.
All that's over now. Jen, I know you love water parks. I know you're excited about this, which is great. So that's exciting. A few things to remember for March. The dining card promotion ends on March 27th. If you want your dining card,
last chance,
which might be the replacement for the dining plan. We don't know. Somebody reached out to me this week and they were like, "Hey, we want to look at trip at 2024." Which, by the way, nobody's booking 2024 yet.
You can't. You literally can't. It's not out.
We want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about it. I want to get you.
We would love to put you on a list, but we can't do it yet. But we can put you on a list.
They asked me, "Hey, do you think the dining plan is coming back?" And my first answer to that question always is, first of all, nobody knows anything. So no matter who tells you, "Oh, I know so-and-so that works in Disney and they told me," no, they don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody has a clue. But secondly, we don't know. So honestly, I again, my theory.
They have said that it is, but
yes. But my theory is if this dining card promotion works out well, they might do a variation of that for the long term.
We don't know.
We just don't know. So if it comes back, if
I promise we will tell you.
It will not come back until at least October or November, possibly even.
At this point,
honestly, yeah. So, and it would come back far out enough that people right now wouldn't go storming and trying to book stuff for their dining plan.
It would be like, so I do feel like it would be, we'd have enough lead time to get it added to existing reservations if that was a thing, or
so that's that. We don't know, but dining card promotion does end on March 27th. Epcot Food and Garden Flower and Garden Festival opened up today and is going to extend until approximately sometime in 2024, 2027, because it's a long festival and we know this.
But I love it. It's I really love it.
I do too. And of course, the Tiana and Encanto topiaries are there. Apparently, the Tiana family, the Magical family, is right there as you walk in. I've seen the pictures, and it's beautiful and it's glorious. Tiana looks incredible. She's in the American Pavilion, and they've actually worked on some of the coloring on the rose, on the flowers, so it's not just all green. I believe that Miss Piggy was not going to have the green face anymore. She's going to have more of a peach-colored face.
Well, we did see the Miss Piggy topiary, and did I even get a picture of it? I think we were going by too quickly. I was like,
I didn't see the topiary. I'm not saying it wasn't there, but I didn't see it. So, but also the Flower and Garden Festival brings forth the food. Now, the Sunshine Griddle, which I believe did the fry flights and stuff. I think that's what. Maybe I'm not sure, but anyway,
is the one by Sunshine Griddle.
I believe so. It had this is the one that actually had a breakfast theme outdoor kitchen. I'm looking at the picture where it's located.
Okay.
So had the red and the gray with a little silver up in the corner. Well, they now have opened this up as BRUNCHCOT. I love this idea. Now the menu is somewhat the same, but here's what's offered at BRUNCHCOT.
This is perfection.
Kyla is going to go nuts here because avocado toast with toy box tomatoes on toasted ciabatta, shrimp and grits with blackened shrimp and cheddar cheese grits. Oh my gosh, that's
Yes,
amazing.
please. Yes, please.
Fried cinnamon roll bites with cream cheese is going to be there.
Oh my gosh.
Cream cheese frosting and candied bacon, and brand new lox Benedict on everything focaccia with everything spiced cream cheese, shallots, crispy capers, and hollandaise. Now, we have a very avid listener, a good fan of the show, Melissa, who just started her own podcast called The Food for Thoughtcast. Make sure you find it. And I know that she's listening to that, cringing going, everything you said is, you just didn't say it right. But it sounds good. The peach Bellini is being offered as a drink, brand new. Joffrey's cold brew cocktail with milk, Kahlua rum, and coffee liqueur. A vanilla vodka is there, as well as the Fruit Loops shake, which I have been darn trying to get one of those.
What?
Yes, the blue shake with Fruit Loops on top. It actually comes with a picture of Wilford Brimley off to the side going diabetes, which is awesome. So I'm excited about that. We don't usually just call out any particular kiosks or whatever, because there's so many of them.
This sounds amazing.
But BRUNCHCOT is just going to be so.
I'm so
excited.
Listen, BRUNCHCOT needs to be a permanent thing, because I would visit that booth literally every trip.
Yeah, I'm actually going to copy. I'm going to have to copy and paste this and send it to our good friend Kyla.
Oh
she
my
needs to know this exists.
I needed to know that this exists. I want to try all of those things. Like so good.
I'm excited about the food. Yeah. The pictures look fantastic. I actually think I'm going to have to do a post on that. That just looks amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. So, well, hooray, BRUNCHCOT. I'm all for brunch. 2 thumbs up.
A couple more things, of course, and Jen, you can speak to more to this than I can, but annual pass holders, in a couple of weeks, you won't have to check into the first park to go after 2 p.m. Now, traditionally, if you're an annual pass holder, you had to get park reservations like always.
Well, I don't want to say traditionally, but since COVID, yes.
Well, since COVID. And being AP, being an annual pass holder, you and your beloved husband Brady sometimes would go to the park because you like to sleep in. You don't rope drop, and I know this about you. You don't rope drop, and guess what? It might be 2:30. You're just now rolling to a park because you slept in late. You had breakfast. You went down to the pool, sat down for a minute, had a little cocktail, or Brady had a cocktail. You had a lemonade. Just kind of relaxed and everything, and you're like, it's 1:30. Let's go get a shower real quick and let's go to the park. It's okay. 2:00, 2:30. You had to have a park reservation, even though you wanted to go to Epcot. Hollywood Studios was the only thing open. So you had to go to Hollywood Studios, check in, then go to Epcot. All that goes away, except for the weekends with Magic Kingdom. You don't need it now. If you're not going until after 2:00, you don't need park reservations. And I think this is fantastic. And I think it is one more small step towards eliminating park reservations.
And toward normalcy.
Normalcy, exactly. Which by this time, don't let anybody tell you it's to control the crowds. It's data. It's all it is data. It's just Disney figuring out who's where and what. But also remember too, now that the pass holders can't go to Magic Kingdom on the weekends until they check in, a lot of pass holders probably will not worry about Magic Kingdom on the weekends. They'll just go during the week to Magic Kingdom. So let's hope that maybe opens up some availability at Magic Kingdom. That would be glorious. Be fantastic. Rock and Roller Coaster is in fact closed through the summer. There's no word on whether it's going to be rethemed or not.
No idea.
Who knows? But I will say that I walked down there this past trip, and I was doing some pictures in Hollywood Studios, taking some pictures, taking some video, and I walked down. There was 2 cast members standing there, and I just engaged them in conversation. And of course, they're standing in front of there's signs as you walk in, big sign that says Rock and Roller Coaster is currently closed at this time. 2 cast members standing side by side, right there to talk to people. There's also a sign as you walk on down, kind of off to the side. Don't forget, Rock and Roller Coaster is closed. You walk down there at the beginning of the queue. The line is empty. There's nobody there. It's just a wide open space of switchbacks. 2 cast members just standing there, hands behind their back, just talking to each other, chatting, whatever, with a sign in the middle that says Rock and Roller Coaster is currently closed. So I walked up and I said, "Excuse me, cast member," and they said, "Yes." And I said, "Can you tell me, just out of curiosity, despite all the signage we're seeing, despite everything we're seeing here, how many people are walking up to you asking you if Rock and Roller Coaster is closed?" Cast member kind of smiled and she said, "A lot." And I said, "Really?" I said, "Despite all the signage and the empty queue." And she goes, "Oh, even worse." She said, "People just walk by us. Like they think we're just standing here. And like they're going to get in the line and we have to stop them." And I'm like they're just walking in thinking that this line is empty for them. Like you're holding it for them. And like, yeah, kind of. And I'm like, so outwardly you're saying, "I'm so sorry, it's closed. You have to come back. Maybe in July, come back. It'll be closed for the summer." But inwardly you're thinking, come on, people, seriously, like, come on, man. So be nice to your cast members. If you see a complete
be kind.
Queue, if it's not early in the morning or late at night right before closing, and you see a completely empty queue on what you know is a very popular ride, your first question should be, Why is that queue completely empty?
Why is it empty?
Why is it empty? I'm going to look around for a sign real quick just to make sure and see if I see something that says it's. Oh, there's a sign that says it's closed. How about that? Rock and roller is closed until July or so. Genie Plus, starting on March 20th, ride photos will be included in Genie Plus, so you don't have to have Memory Maker to get your ride photos on Buzz and on
if you have Genie Plus.
If you buy Genie Plus, whatever cost it's going to be, you get the ride photos included in your app, which is really, really cool.
That's great.
Or you can just be connected to an annual pass holder and they'll all come in that way too, which is what we did. Thank you, mother-in-law. And finally, don't forget, folks, the 50th anniversary celebration ends on March 31st when Disney World will be officially 51 years old in approximately 5 months or 6 months.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So the celebration will end on March 31st. What it will look like on April 1st, I have no idea. We don't know yet. I'm sure we will start seeing pictures and maybe reports on blogs and stuff that we'll start seeing things are coming down and so-and-so has been taken down and the 50th emblem has been taken down here and there. And so we'll start seeing those things happen. But right now we know that the celebration ends on March 31st. And I think we're going to have Heather on, hopefully, maybe in a week or 2 or 3. And we'll talk about the 50th overall, just kind of an overall overview. Just talk about the 50th and what's to come, which will be exciting. So leading out of news, I do want to mention this. Reedy Creek. Now, for those of you who know that name, you may have seen it on the fire department and everything as you're riding around on the buses or your transportation around the parks. As you're going through, you see Reedy Creek development. That was what Walt Disney put in place to kind of govern Walt Disney World. Now, understand, and again, I'm not going to go into a deep history of it because I don't know the specifics, but Walt Disney working with the Florida government, Florida gave them kind of autonomy. Like, hey, Walt, we want you to come here. You do what you need to do. And Walt's like, I will. So they have their own working water. They have their own law enforcement. They have, it's like it is a city with their own working government
literally
within the confines, but they do pay taxes.
Yes, they
all
do.
State taxes, and they don't take a dime of taxpayer money. So that is one thing to remember. Issues, politics, things get in the way, whatever. So Florida has taken over the Reedy Creek developmental property as a name. I believe the Reedy Creek name will be pushed out. There was another name that's coming in. It's not even an acronym. It's just a bunch of words like theme park, association, organization, naturalization of administration. What? I don't know, something to that effect, but it's coming in. It'll be a governing board over the theme park district, not just Disney World.
Sure.
So there's that. I would give you my thoughts on this, but I don't have any at this point because I don't know what it's going to look like. I really don't. It's so new. It is so new that nobody exactly knows what it looks like. And there are people that are like, well, I know the people in charge of this and I don't like it. And that's fine. All opinions are valid. That's great. I know the people in charge of it too. Some of it, I don't know. We'll see. I just want to bring it as a news topic because it is happening.
I don't know any of the people in charge of it. So there you go.
This is kind of, I don't know them personally. We haven't,
I was going to say, I was like, you do? Wow.
Yeah, we're doing the show live right now. Hey, Phil, tell me what's going on the board. I do want to mention it because this is kind of a piece of Disney history.
Well, it's a big news.
But I have no opinion.
Item that's going around. But yeah, I don't know what to think about it, so I'm just wait and see.
Yeah, there we go.
That's all.
So let's answer the question: how in the world, when I fly in, are we supposed to get from the airport to Walt Disney World? And we'll talk about Universal too, but how do you get to the resort? What are my options? What do I need to do? What can you tell me? Jen, let's have a conversation about the airport to the resort. We'll talk about coming back in a few minutes, but all the way there, what are your options?
So, I mean, basically, the first thing you have to decide is, do you want shared transportation or do you want private transportation?
What if you don't like share? I mean, Sunny's okay, but I wasn't a share guy, honestly.
Oh, well, you could just like take transportation. Shared.
My bad.
Shared.
My bad.
Yeah. So there are currently, and arguably, I'm sure there are other ones that maybe we don't. The two, let's say, most popular shared options would be the Mears and the Sunshine Flyers. Of course, both are bus systems. Okay, like talking the big buses. Now, Mears might use a smaller shuttle depending on the time of day. I don't know that Sunshine Flyers uses a smaller one. Mears operates 24/7. Sunshine Flyers does have limited hours, like you cannot take it after 10 p.m. And there's a certain time frame in the morning. I want to say it's 5 or 6 a.m. is the earliest that they'll run. But in any case, that is that's a cost-effective option for families who are looking for something, or I should say it can be. There are also express options on both that you can pay a little bit more to be the first stop. Of course, much like even when Magical Express was there, you got to go wait, got to queue up, wait in the bus. They're going to, of course, wait till the bus has a fair amount of people on it, depending on when they know their arrivals are coming, to time it off. And then you might be the first stop, you might be the fourth stop. You don't know. But they're gonna help you get there. They can, I know for sure Mears can take, like if you have a scooter or a wheelchair, like some accessibility needs. I know Mears can. I would have to check. I believe Sunshine Flyers can, but I've not done that with Sunshine Flyers, so I don't know.
Right.
So that's an option that many families are choosing. And, there are, being travel agents, we get feedback in terms of getting people from the airport to the resort. We really haven't had too much of an issue with either of those services, with maybe Mears being slightly more organized, at least at first.
Well, Sunshine's only a year old now.
It's only a year old, exactly.
And I will say, for the first 3 or 4 months, I was a little worried about them because I feel like there were things that were just not working. They've corrected a lot of their problems.
They have corrected them, though. Yes.
Now, I went to book them last week for my trip down there, but apparently you can't book the day before like you can with Mears.
Correct.
So I didn't realize that until the day before. I'm like, oh, okay. And with Mears, you can actually book it when you get there. Now you might end up on a bus with like 5 stops, but you actually can walk up and book it when you get there, and you might be in a longer line waiting to book. Of course, it's possible.
But of course, Mears is who service the Magical Express, so it's basically it's not their first rodeo with getting people to the theme parks at all. Now, of course, you might be like me and not really want a big bus. So there are other options. So
are there?
There sure are. Now we have people ask us, can I take an Uber? Of course you can take an Uber. Absolutely.
Or Lyft. And Lyft is what's really
Lyft is actually the Disney
they work with Disney, I guess.
They work exactly. Because that's minivans are through the Lyft app. So you absolutely can do that. Of course, you just have to wait for your driver to get there, make sure. But if you need car seats, okay, if you are a family that needs car seats, of course you don't need car seats on a bus, but you don't know, you can request an Uber with car seats or a Lyft with car seats. That can just be a lot trickier. You're not guaranteed unless you have your own. So,
and that may be a longer wait because you might have 15 Ubers in the area within 5 minutes of you, but to find a larger one with a car seat that can hold all your luggage for your family of 4, you might be there 45 minutes. And that might be something where you need to schedule that ahead of time.
100%.
Like the day before and
do the pre-schedule.
Yeah, exactly.
That way they know they're coming to get you.
Exactly. So average cost, but we'll get the cost. We'll get the cost in a minute.
Yeah, let's get the cost in a minute because I want to.
Let's keep going.
There are some private car services as well that can be booked. There are a couple that we work with that we really trust. We've really had great experiences with, and of course, with those you can include a car seat.
Right.
And there are 2 companies in particular we really, really work with. And just like one is called Away We Go Transportation, and the other one is a privately owned car service, and it's of course licensed, have all the things.
Right.
But the beautiful part is you're getting great service, you're getting met. Okay, you got private. You can make sure you have your booster seats, your car seats.
Yep.
And you're not waiting on anybody else.
Right. Right.
So
we are big fans of Away We Go Travel. Here's what happens when we go to the airport, to the resort. We end up usually taking Mears. It's economical for us. Typically, we have a family of 3, but sometimes my in-laws will come. That makes us 5, or sometimes just 4. But so we have 3 to 4 people usually. Away We Go charges one price. And by the way, we are not pitching for anybody here.
All. We're just giving
our
you
experiences, our experiences and our options here. Way We Go costs one price. I want to say it's like $90 before gratuity and tax.
Just depends. Well, it depends on where they're taking you to.
That's true. That's true. And I'm thinking from the airport to Disney World on property to one of the resorts. And it's a private shuttle, whether it's one person or up to 11 people. Private shuttle. They provide up to 2 car seats. If you have 3, then you might have to make other arrangements. But up to 2 car seats, plenty of room for the luggage. It's your own private driver. They take you straight there, and you do. I mean, it is kind of a hefty cost. What we typically do though is we will take Mears, the big bus, because what we feel like is for us, the bus is continually rolling. If we're supposed to land at 3:15, our flight's delayed until 3:45, and we're supposed to be on a 3:30 bus, we get there and they're like, okay, get the 4 o'clock bus. It doesn't matter. I mean, the buses are just continually rolling.
They're always going.
It's like, I want to say $16 one way per person. So, that can add up. By the time you pay $64, you're like, well, let's just pay an extra 30 for Away We Go, plus tax and gratuity or whatever.
Absolutely.
And so, but that's for us. It's just, for us, we don't mind the convenience. Plus, my kid loves the bus. He loves the Disney buses. He loves buses. I loves buses all the way around. And again, you're right. This is not a Disney bus anymore. I was sitting talking to my wife, Stephanie, earlier, and we were talking about Mears and Magical Express and how she missed Magical Express, like we all do. And she was like, well, I don't understand why a lot of them are having problems now where they weren't before. And I was like, but before they had Disney in their corner. So if you're waiting on a bus, your Magical Express bus, and it's not there, you go talk to somebody from Disney and they take care of it because they get Disney in the corner. And now Disney's like, we're out of it. You can handle it. And we'll get to that in a few minutes. But we talked about Uber and Lyft. We talked about Away We Go. We talked about Park Avenue
I have
limos?
Not said, but Park Avenue limos is our go-to for private because I like the owner is fantastic. He has gone above and beyond for our clients. And so he's fantastic. Really just pristine service. We've never had, any issues there. So he's another one of our go-to, but there are other great services that we utilize from time to time, that I could shout out, just that are still on our list of like, yep, they're great. They're good to work with, but everybody has their sort of preferred that we like. And that's and they are not paying us, folks. We just really,
no, exactly. We're just telling our experiences. I think it's, I think that's probably another good reason to have a good travel agent because they can say, my recommendations are this, and here's why. Because we work with these people and blah blah blah, whatever. So I think it's good. I mean, really, Mears and Sunshine Flyers are the easiest. If you want to take the bus, you go down to level 1. When you come off the elevator on level 1, take a right. There's Sunshine Flyers right there. Take a left, go all the way down to Mears, which is where Magical Express used to be. Get on the bus, bing bang boom. You go to Reedy Resort. And you're right. Sometimes it's stop 1, sometimes it's stop 2, 3, 4. And it almost doesn't matter because my Riverside stop was the first stop last Wednesday. However, when we were taking the Mears on going to Boardwalk in October, get that out, going to Boardwalk in October, we were like the 3rd stop. There was an off-property stop at like a Disney Springs and then like some other resort and then Boardwalk. So it's almost not a rhyme or reason. So it's one of those, if you're a larger family, and you're like, you know what, we want to go a little economical here. We don't mind getting on a bus. We don't mind waiting a little while longer. We're fine. Do that. If you're a family that's like, you know what, we don't want to wait. We don't want to wait. We want to get there as quick as possible. Your Uber, your Lyft, your private car, which is a great example. It's more pricey, more expensive, but you're getting what you're paying for. I mean, you're getting that service, you're getting that exclusivity, you're getting that we're taking straight there. And a lot of times, and tell me if I'm wrong here, but a lot of times, if you work it out ahead of time, the driver will take you to like a Publix or a Walmart to grab some groceries real quick.
You typically that does have to be arranged in advance.
Yeah, you have to arrange that first, but it's an option.
Yeah. So it's definitely important. Now that's getting to the resort, but
coming back.
I was like, let's talk about coming back because
here's the trick. So whereas the Mears buses, and I would say Sunshine Flyer, although I have not experienced Sunshine Flyer myself, so I cannot tell you. I only know that they started at Rocky. I've heard good things about them lately. That's all I've got. That's all I can tell you about Sunshine. Mears, I have used several times. And I don't mind calling this out here because if somebody from Mears is listening, I'm hoping they'll hear this and say, oh, a podcast is talking about us. They like our service going to the resort. We got to work on some stuff going back. Because for the 3rd time in a row, I had an issue. Now, when it's just me, I don't mind being a little more inconvenienced. I'll go cheaper. I don't. It's like I'll stay at All Star Sports. My wife's like, that's beginning to fade from my memory exactly what All Star Sports is. I don't even remember anymore. It's a long distance. Is that a hotel? I don't even know. And so for Mears, my little story quickly is that I had a setup going back to the airport. I had a late flight at 9:55. So which means we boarded at 9:25, which means I needed to be at the airport, soon enough, quick enough, whatever. And they like to get you there like 3 hours ahead of time. And you can probably arrange it quicker, but I'm like, that's fine. I'm done in the Magic Kingdom. Get there. Let's just go. I'm ready to get back. I'm ready to get on the plane. Let's get home, man. I'm great week. Let's just if I gotta leave, then let's just go. So I look at my little app here, my little reservation on my phone, and I realize because I'm thinking I have to be there at 7:10. It's 6:50 when I have to be there, and I'm on the bus on the way back to Port Orleans Riverside. It's 6:39, and I'm like, I got 11 minutes. This is bad. And of course, if you know anything about Riverside, it stops at the North Depot, the East Depot, the West Depot before it gets to the South Depot, which is the main bus stop, which is where I need to be. So as we're rolling up, it is 6:50 on the dot. We're pulling up there, and I'm looking around. I'm like, where's the bus? Where's the bus? There's no bus there. And I'm thinking, okay, he's late. Last time I was by myself, they were late. They had to send somebody else after me for 30 minutes later because the guy never showed up. I'm like, there's no bus here. So 6:51, I come off the bus. 6:53, I've already gone to luggage services. I'm standing here with my luggage. I got 2 bags and a backpack with 2 laptops in it. I'm ready to go, right? Let's go. 6:55, 6:56, 6:57. There's nobody here. Okay, this is bad. So a taxi pulls up. A Mears taxi pulls up. And I walk over to and I ask him, are you? And I have the guy's name on my phone. And he's like, no. He said, "Are you looking for a shuttle or a taxi?" And I'm like, "I was looking. It says Mears shuttle." He goes, "That's not me. That's not me." I was like, "Okay." So I call Mears and I'm like, "Hey, so you guys aren't here. Just want to know what do I need to do?" And she was like, she got my name and my reservation number. She said, "Oh, he left at 6:50. You were a no-show." And I'm like, "I was not a no-show. I was here. I was boots on the ground at 6:51. But I was very observant of the parking lot when we pulled in. And there was no bus here. I was like, he left early." And so we kind of went back and forth. And so she's going to send me a taxi. They send me a taxi. Then the taxi driver turns around. We're pulling out of the driveway. And he turns around. He goes, "So who's paying this fare?" And I won't do the accent. And I'm like, sir, I will take care of the fare if I have to, and then pick it up with Mears, but they're supposed to. Well, nobody told me anything, so I just want to make sure that I get paid. And I was like, absolutely, because you're not in this, and this is not your fault. You're just here to do a job. And I was like, I'll make sure you get paid. Okay, so do some phone calls, more phone calls, everything worked out or whatever. But Mears, they left early. They left early on the dot, in which I gave feedback to the lady. I'm like, it's my fault for not being here ahead of time, and I should have been. But at the same time, your information should not say be there at 6:50. It should say the bus leaves at 6:50 on the dot, or even
because it can't get there and leave at 6:50 at the same time. Like you can't do both.
And I asked the lady too. I'm like, and by the way, when I was talking to the lady waiting for my taxi, two Mears or a Mears bus did pull up and then leave. I'm like, awesome. And so, but the taxi was already on its way. And so I told the lady, I'm like, what do I need to do in terms of telling people about this? How early ahead of time? And she goes, 10 minutes. I'm like, well, I kind of feel like the bus just pulls up and whoever's there is there. They load them up and go. It's kind of how it felt. So there's a problem there with Mears. So this is why, again, we will do Mears on the way to the resort. We will always do Away We Go on the way back, because we've used them twice. They're fantastic. They're clean. We don't need car seats, but I've seen the car seats piled in the corner in their vehicles. Private driver, straight there, straight. I mean, just
and the same thing
and easy with them.
So, if I use Park Avenue, if I use and like this time we just used a Lyft because we hadn't pre-scheduled it, we hadn't planned ahead really. So, but we also don't need car seats. So, but just that flexibility and you have control over it. And then you've got your driver texting you, "Hey, I'm going to be boots on the ground at 6:51.
Yes.
The driver would be like, "Oh yeah, okay, whatever." So, I think the last thing we should maybe tackle, and maybe you were about to go here, but like the airport, if you're like me.
Well, I did want to mention one thing real quick before we leave the transportation part of it. For our property, like really Disney Springs is what I'm thinking of. Mears does service off property. I don't know about flyers. I'm not sure. The last time I tried to book them in November, they did not.
I don't think they do.
I stayed at Lake Buena Vista, but they didn't at the time. I'm not sure about Away We Go either. So if you're interested and you are at an off-property resort, check it out. Call your travel agent.
Away We Go does. Obviously, Park Avenue would.
Right. Of course.
So yeah,
Park Avenue will take you anywhere you want to go.
Literally, and Away We Go will go. We'll take you a lot of places. So
so that's good too. But just keep in mind that if you're off property, why would you stay off property? If you're off property, you might have a little more challenging, limited options. They have brought back the minivan airport transport. Is that right? Or are they?
No, not yet. I want to say rumored for concierge guests, but I don't know that that's. I don't know that that's a thing.
Well, we'll get to that when it comes back.
Don't count that as a thing.
Yeah, we won't dive into that. But so there's your transport options. Let's talk about what you were about to bring up, which we also have a story for you. So, Jen, if you're watching the YouTube video, you see the head shake.
Okay, so Jen is Precheck. Actually, Dave is Precheck.
Yes.
Okay,
TSA Precheck changed my life, by the way. Why would you not do Precheck?
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Actually,
Agent Meredith, I'm talking to you.
I'm global entry, so because I also want it with the passport lines coming back in, right? So we are Brady and I very often just kind of go relax before going through security, because that's what we like to do, and I'm not telling my spot because I don't want everybody using my spot. So anyway,
but on the second floor of the Hyatt. Got it.
Oh my gosh, damn it! Don't tell everybody. We just like to relax, whatever. And I vaguely in my head was thinking, I'm like, I know the pre-check line here closes, which is ridiculous, but whatever. I was like, it's probably 9 though. Like, it's fine. So walk down because we have a late flight and waiting for the lines to kind of go down a little bit. Go to get in the pre-check line. Like, oh, we're sorry, this closed at 8. I'm sorry, what? It is a Sunday night. The lines are crazy. You closed the pre-check line. Okay. And then
well, thankfully, this is Topeka, Kansas, where there's not a lot going on a Sunday night at the airport. Oh no, this is Orlando, probably the premier vacation destination in the country, in the entire country, with the busiest, most visited theme park in the world within its city limits. Awesome.
Yeah, that's like this makes total sense. And so,
yes.
But it's like, okay, it's like 21 minutes estimated wait time. I can do this as we stand there.
Yep.
And we stand there.
Yep.
And nobody's moving. And then as we I'll try to shorten, I'll give you the Reader's Digest version. As we get up there, realize that they funneled everybody from our side, gates 70 through 1, whatever, over across to the other side, which is where the people for the gates 1 through 70 check in.
Right.
And so you're funneling all of these, what would you say, 10, 11 lines of people going through security into 2 security lines.
Because there are anywhere from 8 to 10 large scanning machines there. There are 2
in operation. And
we counted at least 8 people standing there not doing anything. And it's not like they're on break. They're all just over there eating a Fig Newton bar or something.
No.
They're standing there by the machines, just kind of leaning, waiting for something to do, just standing.
At least that's what it appeared to us. So TSA, maybe they really were serving, maybe they really were doing something.
No, they weren't.
But no. There was one person directing traffic. There was nobody to ask. Eventually, I had to be, as we're looking, and the time is going, and I'm going, my plane board's in 3 minutes. And I'm like, I'm pre-check. And they're like, oh, anybody else pre-check? Okay. And then they get us through, but we still have to wait behind people who aren't pre-check. And the one, bless, this family, so sweet. You could tell the dad was stressed trying to get everything out, but because they had to take out all of the formula and all of the baby accoutrement and all the electronics, because that's what's required. That is what's required with TSA Precheck. Right. So I'm not mad that they had to do it, but I'm behind there looking at my watch okay. And Brady and I are and Brady's steaming. He's steaming.
He was one of many. Looking around in that line, there were a lot of people that were very upset.
Very, very upset. Including other pre-check people that we had talked to. And we're how is this closed? And so but now they also, and I'm sure Dave will tell us, right, there's Clear there. You could go sign up for Clear, but it's $168 a year. And it's not in every airport. I don't have a problem doing that. But by the time I realized that it would be maybe not a bad use of my money, it was too late. There was there was going to be no benefit. We did make the plane. We made it before we boarded, but as they were boarding. But in the situations, it is appropriate. And I was about to start doing it before I said I was pre-check. You'd be like, excuse me, I'm sorry. I board in 5 minutes.
And somebody actually did that. They were like, I'm late in my plane. Yeah.
I'm late. I really need, I board in 5 minutes. Can I go past you? And people as a whole, as a rule are okay. They're okay, we get it.
So I am of the ilk. This is where Jen and I differ. Jen is somebody, she and Brady like to go kind of relax and everything, have some coffee, have some tea, just kind of sit for a few minutes and before they get back to the hustle and bustle. So I walked in after getting out of the shuttle, my taxi, walking in, checking my luggage, walked into TSA, and I looked around. I'm like, this is really busy. This is very busy. Holy cow. Did not even think to look at the pre-check line where it was ripped off. Actually, at the time, it wasn't ripped off.
It wouldn't have been ripped off
I got
then because you got there before.
So I messaged Jen, and Jen and Brady are both like, hey, come up and see us. Come say hello, whatever. And we've already said our goodbyes. I thought the last time I saw them would be at the Magic Kingdom. So this is now just icing on the cake. This is now extra syrup on the waffle. So I go up to the second floor of the Hyatt against my better judgment because I am let's get through security. Let's get to the other part of the airport. Let's go find the gate. I have to go and put my eyes on the gate because who knows? The time I've been gone, since Wednesday, they could have removed the gate. I don't know. So I have to go there and I have to see the gate visually. And then I figure out, okay, you know what? I got a little time. It's this time? Let me go get something to eat. Let me go grab something to drink. Let me go, pull my computer out. I can do some work. I can do some itineraries, whatever. This time, I'm like, well, let me go see Jen and Brady for a few more minutes. So I go up the elevator. Hey, Jen. Hey, Brady. Hey, Dave. Blah, 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 blah. Have a good old time. Magic. Talk. Race. Kylie. All the good stuff, right? So we're chatting. and you check on your app, and I'm like, guys, it's really busy down there. I don't know. And I'm kind of like, I'm probably going to get out of here. And you check your little app, and you're like, oh, okay. It says, well, 21 to 25. Oh, maybe it says 25 to 27 minutes. Okay. So maybe we should go on down. It's 8:11 at the time. So we get down there at 8:11. Times are important here. Pre-check line is closed. And I'm like, are you kidding? Oh, yes. Pre-check line closed at 8 o'clock. I'm looking ahead to the TSA line, looking back at the pre-check. I'm looking at y'all, and I'm like, I am astounded right now. I am astounded by what I am seeing. This is if Magic Kingdom just closed a fully operational, nothing wrong with it, haunted mansion, and there were cast members just kind of hanging out there. I'm just like, I don't understand what. So we're getting the line, we're waiting, and of course it dawns on us now that we're in a regular TSA line. We might have to take our shoes off. We might have to take all our laptops out. I got 2 laptops in my backpack. I'm like, whoa, we're looking at the clear line. The clear line is also backed up. And so you run over to the clear line, you talk to them, you come back. And I remember you telling me that the clear line, I believe, was $189 for person number 1, $60 for person number 2. She didn't mention a free trial. They've always offered a free trial. I don't know if they were doing it at that point in time. I'm not starting a rumor, but I'm like, is Clear working with MCO right now to make this happen? Because they're making bank right now at all the
people were going because of it. People were going.
Yeah, so you guys were deciding, and honestly, like I was tempted at $99, which is what I've heard it's cost before. $189.
Yeah, I think it's changed. I think people.
I will wait in this line until July 4th. I'm not paying $200 for this. And for you guys, it'd be like $250 for the 2 of you. And so by the time y'all decided what to do, you look around. The time advantage is gone. I mean, you get out and go join the Clear. It's on. So we go up here, and somebody in the line has already told us. They have mentioned, hey, when you get up there, tell them pre-check. Tell them you're on pre-check, which is great. We'll have to take our computers and stuff off, computers out and shoes off, whatever. So we get to the line. By the time we get up to the line, they've opened up a 3rd line right at the very beginning. Right, it's almost like we got to the shopping, we got to the register, and they've opened up a 3rd register. Awesome. So we get to that line, and one guy, to his credit, was very nice. He was like, pre-check. He was checking tickets.
Yes, he was.
Pre-check. You didn't have to do all the non-pre-check stuff. So you guys, it's 8:46. You guys are boarding at 8:50. Okay, you still got to get to your terminal through the tram. If you've never been to MCO, is a main huge concourse. You catch a tram base to the terminal. Over here is Southwest, and over there is Delta, and over there is JetBlue. Blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to tell you in the line. I'm like, Jen, Brady, go. Don't feel like you have to say goodbye to me again. Just leave. And of course, you say to me, "Oh, I wasn't."
I wasn't worried about it.
I know you well enough. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. And Brady's y'all shoot out. Yeah. So I get over there. Now you have to remember, there are 3 trams going to 3 different directions for these terminals. Okay. And I'm coming out of an area of TSA that I have not been in a long time, because they funneled us around. Pre-check is off to the left. Yeah. The regular lines are off, kind of in the middle and off to the right. So y'all shoot off and y'all are gone. I don't see you again. Next time I see your face is like the next morning on video or on Facebook or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, we're good. This is fine. We got it through pre-check. It's 8:50, like 8:53. So we've been in this thing almost 45 minutes. I'm out. I'm free. I'm going to my gate. I'm hungry. So I hop on a tram and I zip on over, and I'm like, this is good. This is great. I'm going to find my gate. So I get off the tram and I look over and I walk out. I'm like, I'm hungry. Where are we going to eat? Is it going to be the Jersey Mike's? Am I going to get the Starbucks? Am I going to go to the little Kava place over there? Why is there a Nathan Hot Dogs here? When did they put a Nathan Hot Dog? Nathan's Hot Dog would be great, but when did they put one in Terminal B? I'm confused. Wait a minute. Why does this say Delta? I'm even more confused. Wait a minute. Why does it say gate 80 through 89 when I am at gate 129 Southwest? Comprehension. I'm in the wrong dadgum terminal. Now, looking back, I should have automatically known what was going on. But after all of that, after the Mears, after the TSA, after the pre-check, it takes about 30 to 45 seconds for me standing there looking around for it to really kind of like click together. Oh, I'm in the wrong terminal. So now I just need to go back to where I came from and catch the catch the tram to the right terminal. But of course, in my mind, I don't remember if I have to go back through a pre-check again. That's the one thing I'm worried about. So I'm on the tram and I'm like, am I going to, because when you're walking off the tram at MCO, you walk around that curve and it's a big sign that says no entry past, you can't come back from this point. You walk right into the concourse. You're like, hey, we're here. There's the Disney store. There's Universal. There's SeaWorld. Nobody goes to SeaWorld, but there it is. Yay. I'm like, am I going to have to do that again? So I get off the A tram and I walk out and I'm looking around. I'm like, oh, this is bad. Pre-check is back. I mean, the TSA is backed up. Oh, there's my tram. Okay. Hop right on to B, go straight on over. By this time, it's 9:05. I board at 9:25. I got 20 minutes. I go to Starbucks, get a sandwich, make the flight, which is great. So, Jen, I guess the final question in all of this, and now that we've talked about our transportation woes, which, by the way, MCO, fix your stuff. Seriously, that's just incomprehensible. It wouldn't even have been as bad to have maybe Precheck closed for a reason. I don't know why you would close it at 8 p.m.
But it wouldn't have been so bad if we didn't have to funnel around. And it was like a 40-minute wait. It was 40
all
minutes.
your lanes open. All your lanes open. And that's happened before at Birmingham, but for some reason in the middle of the day they had the Precheck closed, but all the lanes were open. So you could just walk
then you can just
through
keep going, like whatever.
Exactly.
Fine.
So let's shut down all of the lanes, but for 2, and then shut down. This is a Sunday night at the friggin' Magic Kingdom, whatever, end of a race weekend. Holy crap.
Oh my gosh. Do you know how many people were going home? It's crazy.
Right? So many people. So Jen, I guess the question now is for you is this as the travel expert here. What happens if you're in Precheck and you realize you're going to miss your flight? I know you said there's some of that whole like, hey, can you help me out, whatever. But at some point in time, you're caught in Precheck. You're not Precheck. I keep saying Precheck.
You're caught in TSA. TSA.
Sorry, you're caught in TSA. It's just a long line. You don't know what you're going to do. I mean,
if there's really no way, I mean, and I have to say that is why we recommend like at least 2 hours early to our, to the airport. And, sometimes I push it, obviously. That's on me. That's my responsibility. If I would have missed something or been late boarding, that would have been on me because I could have easily gotten there.
Right.
Had I gone as soon as I got to the airport. So, but what you have to do is then you have to go find a gate agent. You have to go find the gate agent. Hey, I missed my flight. TSA line was long. I just couldn't get here. Yep. Can you help me? And they're going to help you rebook onto another flight. Sometimes, at that point you really do need to talk to a gate agent versus like if you have an app or something. Now, if you're standing out there and there's no possible way, you're like an hour away from the airport and whatever's happened and there's an accident and you can't get there, depending on the airline, sometimes you can reschedule in the app, but a lot of times it is just go talk to the gate agents and they're gonna do their best to help you. And
I know as travel agents, what you want to hear is like, oh, here's what you do. Here's a hidden hack you may not know that airlines don't want you to know. Blah 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 blah. The right answer is talk to a gate agent. Talk to somebody from the airline and explain your situation, and be nice. Even if on occasion you have somebody talking to you that you're like, you know what, you could be a little nicer to me because I'm the one with a hard problem here. If you're really losing your temper, walk away for a minute, come back, talk to somebody else, say, hey, would you mind if I talk to a manager? Would that be okay? Keep your cool. The most important thing is to keep your cool because like, whether it's in a McDonald's or in an airline, the workers are all just like tensing up, hoping you don't explode, and like, okay, what happens if you do? And they're almost like they're waiting for it. They're like, okay, he's gonna explode, and don't just and don't. And it's I know that's easy to say because sometimes it's late at night, you got kids, you're stuck in the airport. What do you do? I don't know, but keep your cool as best you can. Be stern as stern as you need to, but keep your cool, and remember that a lot of times they're following airline policy, whether you agree with it or not, or whether they should be following that policy or not. They're following rules they have to follow. So just keep that in mind. Perfect. That's a good conversation. I think that's really good. I think that's great on getting to the resort. Fun times getting back. Which, as of course we mentioned, the buses, the shuttles, taxis, which you can always call, which are really expensive, by the way. When I was in the taxi heading back to the airport, he was at the end of Port Orleans Riverside driveway, and the fare was at $375. I'm like, I could run to where I was in approximately 38 seconds. Now that I've done a 5K, I'm like Usain Bolt over here. So I mean, I'm like, really, that's expensive. So. But anyway, there's all your information about transportation around airports and stuff like that. Universal, real quick, they have what's called Superstar Shuttle. And I'm not going to dive into Universal a lot here, but just to top it off, Superstar Shuttle will pick you up from the airport and take you to Universal. They also have a system where they will take you to Disney World and bring you back to Universal in case you want to do something. Actually, I take that back. Will they take you to Disney World for the day?
They will.
They will. Okay,
they will. So it's actually through quick transportation.
Quick transportation. Sorry. And also, if you're at the parks or if you're on Disney World property and you want to spend a day at Universal, they will come pick you up. And I've actually experienced that before. You schedule the time the day before. It's a little tricky. Sometimes they have a drop-off time you may not like in the evening, but you work that out with them. So there is that as well. So you have those options as well. So all right, Jen, where can we find you in all the right places online? And next question though. When are you going back to the parks? When is your next park visit?
I'm not actually back till May, but you can still follow me. Yeah, I've got some stuff going on, which is good, but moving and stuff. So not till my birthday weekend as of this moment, but you can follow me at Upon a Star Jen or my personal Instagram at Jen_Novotny.
Perfect. Find me at Magic on a Dollar on Facebook and Disney on a Dollar on Facebook. Find me at The Magic on a Dollar on Instagram. And of course, starting tomorrow, for the 10th year in a row, we are doing the Magical Movie Madness, which you can vote on your favorite Disney movies of all time. Aladdin is the defending world champion in our tournament, which will extend through much of March. Prizes given away every week. And also, for the first time, over in the Upon a Star stuff, the Upon a Star Travel on Facebook and on Instagram, you can vote on your favorite Disney World restaurants, quick service and table services as well. Vote on what you find the most yummiest, the best, the most delicious, the most character driven, the best theming, whatever you categorize as your favorite. Vote on those as well. So follow all of those on the platforms as well. So that's it. There we go. Next week we're going to try to bring in the oft talked about and rarely seen Kyla, and she can discuss the 5K with me. We'll talk about going on the 5K. Jen can talk about being a 5K veteran. I can talk about being a 5K rookie. Kyla will talk about that and being a sunrise yoga participant, which I don't understand why you would do that, but she'll talk about that. We'll just have a fun time next week. Hopefully that'll be next week. Anyway, for Jen, I am Dave, and don't forget to thank your Phoenicians.
Thank you for listening to the Main Street Electrical Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at the MSE Podcast, or visit our website at themsepodcast.com. Be sure to subscribe, and may all your wishes come true.